started saving money. Started with $45, and by September I had $160. Which of the following are rates of change? Is it A, between April and September, the number of months changed by 5? Is it B, the amount of money in my bank account changed by $115? Is it C, I saved $23 per month? Or is it D, all the above? What I want you to do is think about it for a second. Think about it to yourself. Once you got your answer, put your head down.
I'm gonna go to sleep.
Once you got it, put your head down. That way I know you're ready to answer. I'm going to wait till everyone has their head down. Put your head down once you got an answer. Everyone.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about it. So if you don't know, take a guess. Make sure you have a reason for your guess. You good? You got an answer? I don't want to see your eyes. Put your head down. Take a 10-second nap while we wait for everyone.
10:07
Okay. Keep them down. Keep them down. Raise your hand if you think it's A, between April and September, the number of months changed by 5. Raise your hand if it's B, the amount of money in my bank account changed by $115. Raise your hand if you think it's C, I saved $23 per month. Raise your hand if you think it's D, all the above. Alright, put your hands up.
I gotta raise my hand.
Not all of you guys raise your hands. That's okay. Well, let's talk about it. So then, no one said A, but some people said B. So that means you would have thought A was true. So those of you that thought D, why do you think A is the rate of change? What?
Because we just got done talking about it.
Okay, what was the rate of change?
I meant A.
Right, what was our definition? Okay, so in A, what's our output? What's the input? But it only says that the number of months changed by 5, right? That 5 is talking about the number of months. Right, so our only variable in there is the months. Right, there's no output, there's no input. It's just strictly saying the amount of months changed by 5. Right, so we only have one variable there. So that rules out B, right? It can't be all the above, it's not A. Now we got it between B and C. How many variables do we have in B? 1. What is our variable? The $115, what does that represent? Alright, so we have one variable again. And that's not B. We're left with C.
Yes, got it.
You didn't even raise your hand and show why you.
Okay, why C though? Why C? What's our input?
C.
Right? So our input is actually going to be the month.
Oh.
Right? Then the output is going to be how much money we have.
This guy must have a really crappy job.
Me? Yeah? I'm actually paid to be here, so this is not my job.
Oh, is this yours? No.
No, this is just a theoretical problem. Right? But one key word, okay?
Why would you pay?
Per. Right? That's something we saw in all our examples. Per. Right? That per is relating two different variables. And that's exactly what we need for a rate. Robbie, stay with us. Okay, so that per is a key word. I'm going to be looking at for a lot when I say state the rate of change. Alright, so now, let's do a little example. Somebody help me fill out this table.
Well, one game is $60, so this is already wrong.
We were talking about the shipping, we're not talking about the cost of the game.
Oh, well, that's usually like 10 or 13.
Someone said over here.
1 is
1 is 6, thank you. So what would 0 be?
4.
How'd you get that? How'd you know?
Wouldn't that be 0? Why would you pay anything for no game?
Okay, so we addressed that in the last class too. Okay, why is the cost of 0 4? How many of you guys shop on Amazon?
They charge you to look at it?
No, they don't charge you. Right, no matter what, before you buy something, they say you're gonna pay this much for shipping no matter what. But then as you add things on, the shipping cost might change. Okay, so there's always that base shipping cost. And then it changes based on, it's typically weight, not per item.
If you order more than $30 of stuff, you get free shipping.
Exactly. But we're not, that doesn't help us in this math problem, right? That kind of throws things out. Okay, so you gotta play along a little bit. Gotta play along a little bit. I know it's not completely accurate. Alright, but how'd you guys find 6 and 4? Those are you guys that told me?
Alright, well, one of those things inaccurate already, it's Xbox games. I'm not gonna be buying Xbox games ever.
Alright, whatever, we're past that. We're past the problem not being 100% real life
That's
accurate.
capital X and.
Okay? How did we find 6 and 4? Jackie?
You just subtract 2.
Okay, subtract 2. Okay, or if we're going down the table, what am I doing, Jackie?
You're adding 2.
Adding 2. Very good. Now my question is, what is our rate of change in this problem? To what? $2. What, I heard it over here? So what is our input? Carmi, what's our input? Robbie, don't talk.
Wait.
Carmi, grab. What's our input? What would our list of X values be?
Number of games.
Not the number, just in general.
In general?
Yeah.
What number?
No, so if we have X in an equation, what is X going to represent? The number of games. So that's our input, right? The number of games. So what's the output, Carmi? Total cost. Okay, good. So now, okay, the start value, right, we found it earlier with the cups. What would our start value be here? Natalie, what do you think our start value would be? 4. Why 4? Say that one more time.
Because you have 4 automatically.
Right? The zero cost or the 0 gains is $4. Okay, that's our base or our start value.
No, or not.
You're so
Pay attention, you're alright. Doesn't matter. Alright, so what does the start represent in this equation? You just said it. What'd you say?
It's the starting price for shipping.
Okay, good. I'm gonna say the base price. Base price for shipping. So now we need to come up with an equation. So what I want you to do, everyone, in their notes, in your notes right now, write down an equation. From this table, from what we did. Even if you're not sure, okay, try and take a guess. But I want everyone writing something down right now. Writing down an equation.
It's in my head.
I want you to write on paper. Take a guess. Take a guess. Write an equation. Yeah? You're going to be the only one that sees it, but it's important that you try it.
I know the equation, but she won't use it.
Remember that.
Sure I did, I slept that way as far as I could with that ruler.
Oh, this is so easy. The shipping of 12 games is $32.
Yeah, well, I'll ask you how you got that in a sec, though.
Fairly safe.
All right. Victoria, what did you write down? Y equals 2x plus 4. Where did you get the 2 from? $2 per game, which is our what? The rate of change, right? Good. Where did you get the 4 from?
From the 0 starting
The
point.
start. Good. Everyone see that? Where she got those 2 values from?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the next thing I'm about to write up is very important. Okay, and it acts as just like a template on how we can write equations from a table. Okay, so our y value, what does that also represent? our list of what?
Outputs.
Outputs. Okay, so I'm going to write output equals, what was the 2 in our equation? Return, what did you say our 2 came from? Rate of change. Okay, what comes next? What do we do with that rate of change? What you said? Somebody whispered something that I liked. Carmen, is that you?
At 4.
What?
Who whispered something in the middle right here? Was you still up?
Multiply it by 12.
Louder!
Multiply it by 12.
Okay, that's to solve this one, but just in general. What is that, 12?
Number of games.
Okay, what is the number of games represent in our problem?
Input.
The input. Now what's the last thing?
It's
Isaiah, what's the last thing we do? What are we missing? Because right here we have our output, rate of change, and input. What is that for?
Oh, the money we started with, so.
Good, so let's start. Let's start. This absolutely should be in everyone's notes. Because as we move through the unit, okay, if you guys are asked to write an equation given a table, I'm going to ask you, what are these 4 things? What's your start value? What is your input? What is our rate of change? And what is the output? Is this, are we always going to add a start value? Is it always going to be a plus?
No.
Sometimes it'll be minus, right? Sometimes we'll be starting with less and adding and increasing. Or maybe even decreasing. Okay. So let's predict the cost of 12 games.
$32.
Brian said $32. How'd you get that though?
Multiplied to 6.
Huh?
I multiplied to 6 output.
Oh, so you just doubled this?
Yeah.
You get 32?
You basically put the answer on the board.
Okay, so you just said 16 times 2 equals 32. Is that right? Chase, you just shook your head. How would you have done it?
I think it's 28.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Because you're doubling the starting cost, and so you have to minus 4 from 32 to get 20.
Right, and if we think back to our lesson with Lady Gaga, Justin Timberlake,
Yeah.
and who's the other one? Mr. T. That's what Justin Timberlake did, right? You're paying, when you double this, you're paying for the base shipping cost twice. So you're adding an extra $4 on. Okay, so for those of you, Gabby, I heard you say you agreed with Chase. How'd you get that value though?
I added 2.
Huh?
I added 2 each time.
Oh, so you just kept going, you just kept increasing? So you did like Mr. T. Right, that's what he did. But luckily for you, you didn't have to do it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Chase, how'd you do it?
I did exactly what Brian did. I did 6 times 2 and then 16 times 2, and then I knew that was going to double the cost.
So you just subtracted the 4 away?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody else, we're still not quite.
2 times 12 plus 4.
2 times 12 plus 4, why'd you do that?
I don't know.
You don't know? Right, that's the equation that we just created. Right, we're multiplying our rate of change, which is 2, times our input, the number of games, which is 12, and we're adding that base cost. And in this problem, do we say y equals 28? What should we say? Robbie?
Cost of 12 games equals
28 what?
2800.
Sounds good. Everyone kind of see how we can relate the table and the equation to where the rate of change comes from?
Yes, sir.
Alright. We're going to do the same thing with this multiple choice question. So once you have an answer, put your head down. And then I'll